Hello everyone and welcome back to Elegant Blooms by Emma, and today we're going to be talking about how to take care of your new spring chicks. So on our farm we have 5 chicks right now that are laying kind of throughout the winter. We've only really gotten like 1 or 2 eggs a day, and they did have a period where they did not produce any eggs. We also have pigs on our farm as well, and we have 18 new baby piglets that were born this past winter in January, and we have 2 mama sows. And so what's really helpful in having these animals on our farm is that we can use their manure as fertilizer in our garden. We have found that when we put especially the pig manure into the garden, we see that our vegetables become bigger. A couple years ago we put some of the pig manure out and we planted our broccoli. We mixed it in with our dirt out there and we planted our broccoli in the section, and we had broccoli heads like bigger than the size of our hands, like as big as dinner plates. They were huge, and we had an abundance of broccoli out there. And so chickens as well produce a bunch of manure, not as much as pigs because they're a lot smaller, but they do produce manure that you are able to use in your garden and mix it up with the soil, and it can help your soil have better nutrients and ultimately helps your plants to grow bigger and better. So we have been kind of slowly dumping some manure from the baby pigs out into the garden, and as they continue to get older, we're going to continue dumping the manure out there, and then we will till it all up together, and then we will have a more nutrient dense garden because of the manure that we are getting from these farm animals. And it also helps because we are getting eggs daily from these chickens. Once these start laying in around between July and August, they'll probably start laying. Then we will have eggs from the pigs. We will probably take 1 or 2 to butcher, and we will have that meat to be able to eat throughout the whole year. If you're thinking about getting any type of farm animal, chicks, pigs, cows even. We also do have cows. I forgot to mention that one as well. We have a small herd of cattle that we have, but again, we do not use like their manure or anything for the garden. They're just strictly for raising and selling and butchering. But if you are looking into getting any type of farm animal, I recommend starting out with chicks. So today I'm just kind of going to teach you how to kind of care for your chicks in the springtime whenever they are really small. And so let's get to it. So to start, when you get your chicks, you're going to want to first decide how much room you have in order to keep them. What type size of chicken coop do you have? I am not 100% sure on the square foot per chicken, but I'm going to look that up after this video and type it into this video to let you guys know. We have a coop out in our yard that we keep our chickens, and you have to have nesting boxes in there, and you have to make sure that they have the proper bedding and proper roosting areas. But that can be another whole different separate video on caring for bigger hens. But for now, I'm just going to kind of explain to you what you need to do, like for the chicks wise, what you need. But I do recommend looking at what space you have in order to decide how many chicks to get. And you can use this square foot per hen to determine how much space you have to determine how many hen chicks to get. And then another thing that you're going to need is starter feed. I will show you that in a minute, like what we get. But you're going to need starter feed, you're going to need shavings, and then you're going to need something to put them in. And then you're going to need fresh water, and you're going to need a feeder as well. So to start, this is the type of feed that we get. It is the Purina Start and Grow medicated feed, and they have small bags of this, but honestly I recommend getting the bigger bag because your chicks, you're going to need to feed them this basically until they're old enough to go out to the coop. So I would invest in more of the bigger medicated start and grow bag instead of just the small one, because then you're going to have to go back and get more. We've had these chicks for a little over a week, and we have not even chewed through like a quarter of it yet. We still have so much in there, and we have 10 chicks. So they eat through it. You think they would eat through it fast, but once you have the big bag, they actually do not eat through it as much as you think they do. And then you're also going to want to get some type of pine shavings for them, or you can do your own research and get whatever other bedding you would like. We just do some type of pine shavings. So we put our chicks in a huge metal water tank, and we find this really helpful. Even when they get a little bigger, they still are able to stay in this because it is so big. And today I'm going to be cleaning it out and showing you the process of how I clean this out and refill everything. They have been here for a little over a week now, and we have had to like refill water and feed as always every day. But we are going to be cleaning out the shavings and the newspaper. So now I'm going to start out by getting the chicks out of here so then I can clean up the whole mess. Okay, so now I have all of my chickens out in the little playpen, and if you're doing this without your chickens yet and you're just preparing, then you don't have to worry about this part. But if you do have your chickens, then I highly recommend taking them out of whatever place you have and putting them either in a box, or just make a little playpen out of baskets and boxes is what we do. And then you want to put newspaper down because they're going to poop no matter what. And then what I also like to do is kind of give them a little treat. So I drop breadcrumbs for them, but they love it. But just make sure you don't do too much because you don't want them to get sick. And then I also take some feed as well and drop it down for them, just to kind of give them a little fun little activity to be doing while they are in this little pen. And as you can see, they fight over the breadcrumbs and they love it. So next, after all my chickens are occupied, I'm going to take the feeder and the water out and kind of clean them up a little bit and take that brick that the water is on out, and then I'm going to clean up all the newspaper and the shavings. So next I'm just going to wash these with Dawn and hot water to get any bacteria out that is in the water. It really is pretty clean because we wash it out every time we refill it, but I'm just going to wash it with soap as well about once every week or so, just to keep it all clean and keep your chickens healthy. So next I'm going to take this cement block out and kind of clean it up if it has any poop on it, and then we're going to take all of the shavings and the newspaper out. And basically how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to try to tightly roll the newspaper up with the shavings in it, so then you get as less shavings out of the newspaper as you can. So there are some shavings here, so I'm just going to kind of move them over onto this newspaper to try to get them to be on the newspaper and not in the water trough. Next, I'm going to use this mini broom and mini dustpan to kind of sweep out the rest of the shavings that are at the bottom. So now that it's all cleaned out, I'm going to take newspaper and layer the bottom. I'm probably going to put 2 layers of newspaper down, so then it just has an extra layer of protection. And they don't need a big, thick bedding, but they do need quite a few to give them a good bedding. But you don't have to lay it on too thick. Basically just enough to cover the newspaper. So this should be pretty good. I'm just gonna kind of go through and get the big clumps kind of spread out a little bit. And ta-da! And then all you need to do is put your water and feeder back in, refill them up and put them back in, and then put your chickens in. So yeah, that is how you take care of your chicks whenever they are really young and you have them inside. And one thing that I forgot to mention is you also need to make sure you have a heat lamp, so then they have the correct amount of heat, the proper heat that they need to survive. So you can just get those at your local TSC or order them online. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and learning about how to take care of your chicks. Comment down below if you are going to be getting spring chicks this year. They're super fun and loving, and we got really lucky this year. Our flock of new chicks are actually really calm chickens. They don't seem like, come here guys, they're running away. They don't seem like they are calm right now, but they really are a lot calmer than the ones that we have. They just love their treats. I highly recommend working with your chicks and kind of getting them to trust you, you know, have food. But again, don't give them too much because they're so young. Just kind of give them some treats every other day or every 2 days or something. And just love on them. And yeah, and please subscribe to follow along. And you can even watch these chicks grow up and mature. And please also go follow all of our socials. We have an Instagram and a TikTok, so please go follow those. Jesus loves you. Bye. Say bye.